Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello everyone, so I'm going to make my presentation in English, and I'm very happy in the name of Iaaf to make you a presentation today about the global international recognition by the International Accreditation Forum. And I'm very happy that yesterday there was someone who spoke about who accredits the accreditors, Mr. Here. So this presentation is mainly, a big part of it is for you. So I'm going to talk about how we make accreditation of accreditors, and who recognize an accreditation body as competent and able to give accreditation, because after that the accreditation body will give confidence to the testing, calibration, inspection and certification, and then they will give also confidence to the industry who says that that accreditation body has the competence. So today hopefully you will have the answer for that, but also we will explain to you how much money accreditation brings to the economy. We'll bring you some examples because that's the language we understand in the end. We can talk about theory, we can talk about how important is quality, but then in the end how much money we have. And that's the very important thing for the economy, and if we help really the economy by that. So the Iaaf International Accreditation Forum, so that logo you look to, I think you have seen it many times around the world on the many products, many certificates. Sometimes also it's used wrongly on some trucks and cars. That's not allowed, but it's very important that you know that Iaaf is that logo. And it's an accreditation, the membership of Iaaf is accreditation bodies, but also it's an association of regional accreditation groups like ARAC for Arab region, like EA for European accreditation bodies, like IAAC for Inter-American Accreditation Cooperation countries. Also, we have certification body associations. They are also our members. They participate with us, they have their voice, and they talk in the name of certification bodies. And also we have some industry associations working with us to give us feedback, and other stakeholder organizations. So our vision is to be the preferred partners of worldwide recognition of accredited conformity assessment that meet the market and regulatory and public needs. This is our objective, that the market, the users, and the regulators, they can trust on Iaaf recognition, and that when you have a certificate, having our logo on that certificate, that you can say, yes, I can trust this certificate. This is our vision. So our mission is to facilitate the trade, to support regulators, to protect the consumers and the environment, and to facilitate the sustainable development in the world, and that's by operating a worldwide mutual recognition arrangement. So what we do, we make an arrangement between the accreditation bodies, and we make sure that these accreditation bodies have equivalent competence and that we can trust their certificates around the world, and we have a mechanism of evaluation for that we can see later. So this is the most important slide. So if you see only this slide, that's fine. So this is very important slide for you to understand. This is the chain of trust. سلسلة الثقة. This is the chain of trust that we have. So you have first, in the bottom, you have the conformity to product processes and services and schemes. So this means that the product, the service that you give, must be in conformity with a number of standards, and that's the basic thing that is there. Who makes sure that your product is in conformity and that the product that you consume is safe? It is the certification bodies, testing laboratories, inspection bodies. Those what we call conformity assessment bodies. جهات تقييم المطابقة. So those are the conformity assessment bodies that make sure that what you consume and what you use as a service is in conformity and that you can trust. And then who makes the trust in these certification bodies, in these laboratories and these inspection bodies? It's the accreditation bodies. So the accreditation bodies make sure that that certifier have made the right certification in the right way, impartial, competent, and a good way. So that's very important. The accreditation body makes sure of that. For that, the accreditation body must have the competence, must have good assessors, which is the equivalent of auditors, must have assessors who know the competence and the specific field of industry, the specific tests in food, for example, in textile, and a specific inspection for the lifting equipment, for example, of your elevators. It's very important that accreditation body has that competence, and that competence is done by ILAC, Iaaf, and Iaf. So how is this done? We cannot go one step further and then who accredits the accreditors of the accreditors and so on and so on. So at the level of international level, what we do is a peer evaluation, تقييم النظراء, which means that I am an accreditation body, you are an accreditation body from another country, he's an accreditation body from another countries, we make a peer evaluation. So you come and evaluate me, and I come and evaluate you. And this is very important, it's one of the most difficult ways of evaluation. Because you do my job and I do your job, so I know very well what you do and I can find the mistake in you. And this is very important that Iaaf and ILAC, the two big organizations around the world who make these arrangements, and they're managing this. So you see ILAC is the one related to laboratories and inspection, and Iaaf is related to everything related to certification of persons, certification of management systems, and certification of products. We have also Iaf, the International Halal Accreditation Forum, which is the one for halal. It's also have been created to make recognition between the accreditation bodies in the field of halal. So the objectives, as we said, is to maintain this mutual recognition and also to develop an appropriate harmonization of certification best practices around the world, and also to promote the accredited certifications by working with and influencing key international organizations and industry groups. So obviously the benefits will be that the MLA, the multilateral agreements will underpin the cross-border trade through the facilitation of acceptance of certifications, which means that when you have one product going from your country to another product, when you have a certificate, you don't need to make again another certificate, because that certificate should normally be accepted by the other country if the accreditation body who gave that certificate is signatory of the MLAs. So that is the chain of the trust for the accreditation bodies. To have more information about examples around the world on how this is applied and how this is really used in the world for the acceptance of products, acceptance of certificates, and acceptance of test reports and inspections, you have two websites. You have publicsectorassurance.org and you have also businessbenefits.org. So the first one gives you examples on how to demonstrate that standards accreditation, they support the public policy through case studies and research papers. In that website, you can find research papers, studies that have been made in the different countries around the world, and that can help you in your own country to make similar studies and to make references on how important is standards and accreditation around the world. The second website is the money website. So that's the website that shows you how much in numbers accreditation is useful around the world. So let's go very fast about the structure of Iaaf. So Iaaf is an association. So we are different accreditation bodies, members of Iaaf. We have a board of directors who manages the Iaaf, and also we have an executive committee elected mostly from the members in the executive committee. And we have a number of committees. We have a communication committee. We have a development support committee for developing economies. We have the MLA committee, which is managing the multilateral agreements. We have the technical committee making documentation and interpretation of the requirements. We have also the conformity assessment bodies committee, accreditation bodies issues, and user advisory committee, which shows the integration of the different parties in the structure itself of Iaaf. So we have three kinds of membership. We have the accreditation bodies, the associations, and also the regional accreditation groups. Iaaf was created in 1993. And its membership has been increased, and it has an influence with international organizations and trade bodies. And an increasing number of economies have established accreditation bodies to maintain the competence of certification bodies. So the Iaaf MLA, it is a network of accreditation body members of Iaaf deemed to be competent through a stringent peer evaluation process. So the signatories to the MLA, they recognize each others as being equally reliable, and it provides an assurance to the equivalent overseas certification bodies to operate in the same standards. So all accreditation bodies, when they give the certificate, they have the same value. When AIAC from Emirates or GCC from GCC countries, they issue a certificate, that certificate of accreditation makes sure that it's the same equivalent level of confidence as another country. So we have a number of fields that we work in. We have the management systems, 9001, 14000, 18000, نظم الجودة, نظم management systems. We have also a product certification, اللي هي منح الشهادات للمنتجات. We have certification of persons, الشهادات للأشخاص. And the greenhouse gas validation and verification, التثبت والمراقبة. These are the four main scopes. They have sub-scopes. So we have quality management systems, we have environmental management systems, we have information security management systems, food safety management systems, medical devices management system, energy management systems, and pharmacopoeias for the feed of animals. So these are very important fields of management system that are covered by Iaaf, and where accreditation bodies around the world, they have the mutual recognition that they give the certificate for those scopes. There are also others for product certification, like the Global Gap for agriculture, integrated farm assurance. We have also a scheme for the persons, IPC, and also the scheme special for ICAO Corsia, the new one for the emissions of aerospace. The certification statement issued by the bodies accredited by Iaf Mla Signatories in the fields of management system, personnel, and GS validation and verification for specific conformity assessment standard or scheme, they can be accepted as equivalent worldwide. This is not easy sentence. Accepted equivalent worldwide. So you have the word accepting your certificate that is issued as equivalent around the world. This is a very important thing that Iaaf is achieving, and also extending its scope to more and more fields that we work in. So this is the coverage around the world. You have the blue ones are the Iaf MLA signatories. These are the countries where an accreditation body have signed an MLA, the multilateral agreement signature. And we have the yellow ones who are the ones yet to be signatories. They are in the process to be signatories. And the gray ones, they are still not involved. So you see that we cover pretty much most of the world. And these countries that you see here, they cover 96% of the global GDP. So this is the biggest part of the world. These are the scopes that we have been talking in. You can recognize the ones you work in. Those are the names of the standards that are covering the different levels. So we have the main scopes, then we have the level 4, which is for the schemes, and then we have the level 5, which is applied on the level of industry itself. And these are our regional organizations. It is very important to know that we trust and we use the regional organizations to help us evaluate accreditation bodies in those countries. So for example, in the Arab region, we have the ARAC, the Arab Accreditation Corporation, which helps us to evaluate the accreditation bodies in the Arab countries. And that's very important for us so that we can have the cultural component also in that evaluation. Let's see now in numbers some examples from around the world where accreditation is adding value to the economy, and how the integration have been established between the private sector, the conformity assessment bodies, and the regulators and the governments themselves. So this is the website from which we have these examples. You can go and see more examples on that website. So here we have the direct value of NATA, for example, from Australia. They have, the Australian economy is benefiting of $315 million, Australian dollars, and between 315 and 421 million, which means, in average, they have an addition of $1 million per day to the economy, which is very important to know as a number, that an accreditation body can give up to $1 million per day for the economy of the country. Another example is UCAS from UK. So same thing, UCAS have made a study, and the study shows that they have around 7.5 million Saudi riyals per day for the economy, for the United Kingdom economy. Also for New Zealand, we have IANZ, which is an accreditation body in New Zealand. The economic research carried by some research company in New Zealand shows that 276 billion of New Zealand exports, they are facilitated by the accreditation, and it's over 56% of the total exports of New Zealand, which is not little. And that shows that the accreditation body IANZ, which plays an important role in the domestic economy, supports the industry with about 25.8 billion pounds of GDP every year. The last examples from our region, from Abu Dhabi, we have the ADNOC, which is the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company, which was accredited to the ISO 50001, and because it was accredited by a recognized AB, their energy performance has improved by 6% from 2014 baseline, and the result is $150 million cumulative cost savings. And this is very important that by only applying that standard, they have this big saving, and they look forward to $1 billion by 2020 of saving by applying this standard. Also in Spain, we have in Spain that the INAC, which is the accreditation body in Spain, that saves society 815 million euros per year for the society, which is very important. But more important than that is that the inspection bodies who are accredited, they help to prevent 133 lives every year, 12,000 wounded people, and 17,700 traffic accidents per year are prevented thanks to the accreditation. So here we can very easily say that accreditation adds value every step of the way. So every step you have a calibration, you have a testing, you have an inspection, you have a certification. Every time you have that value from an accredited conformity assessment body, you're adding value to the economy by bringing money or preventing accidents and losses of money and quality in the economy. So the accreditation roles, it has a very important role in cost efficiency, impact on public services to enhancing them. Very important, the international trade be enabled. Risk management is more efficient when you have these management system puts in systems, and also the commercial benefits and effective market operations are more enhanced. In the GCC specific context, we have two ABs. We have GAC and Iaaf. Iaaf is also recognized by the Iaf Mla, and these are the two ABs working in the region. There have been also a signature with Iaf between ILAC, Iaaf, and Iaf for the MLAs that are managed by each one of them. And then we have a good cooperation also for the halal, which is very important for our region because halal covers a lot of fields like finance, food, travel, fashion, media, etc. And that's very important for us in our region. So in summary, we can say that regulators and conformity assessment bodies, regulators, conformity assessment bodies, and accreditation together, they really bring an economic complementarity and they make confidence in the work that we do, and that facilitates the trade. One important thing that you need to know that this mark, Iaaf, there's this mark which is called the Mutual Recognition Mark, the MLA mark, that it's put side to side with the accreditation body's logo. So when you receive a certificate for a product, for a person, or for a management system, and you want to know, is this certificate covered by the MLA or not, which means, is the accreditation body competent to do that activity, you will find the logo of Iaaf with the logo of the accreditation body. These together is called the combined mark, and that shows to you that this accreditation is covered by the MLA. And then you can go and see the list of members in the Iaaf website, iaf.nu, and you have the link there that you can verify which ABs are members of the Iaaf. These are our partners around the world that we work with, ISO, UNIDO, World Bank, and lately we had Iaf and Global Gap that have been added. And also every year we have a celebration. 9th of June, every year we have a celebration, the World Accreditation Day, and every year we have a subject for that. So these are the subjects that we had the last years, and this is the subject for the next year. So this year, 2019, the subject is accreditation, adding value to supply chains. Supply chains is very important. سلاسل الإمداد. الاعتماد يدعم سلاسل الإمداد. So I invite you everyone this year in 9th of June 2019 to celebrate the World Accreditation Day, where we are going to talk about how accreditation helps the supply chains and how in every step from the farm till the fork, how accreditation adds value, makes it sure for you, and makes you sure that the accreditation is helping you in your everyday life. Thank you very much. This was my presentation, and I'm very happy to receive any questions from you. Thank you very much.